Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Welcome to what I believe will be the best and strongest build of Season 9, starting here on Tuesday. This build is indeed so strong, it did pit 115 on the PTR and only gets some mild nerf. It's, of course, the Thorns Bar Spiritborn, no Barbarian. This Spiritborn is so strong, it's gonna destroy, one-shot the bosses, it can speed farm pit 100, easy peasy. It's even good very early on, and all you need for it is the new Pantalones. This build is going to be giga crazy. I have the planners linked below. I'm also going to show you a lot of gameplay here at the end, but there are a lot of different setups, and they all revolve around this new unique, which has a lot of different use cases, because all it does, basically, it creates thorns damage based on any of the attacks you have done. You can play this with Quill Volley, you can play this with Crushing Hand, you can pretty much play this with Rake, you can play this with almost every skill in the Spiritborn's arsenal, making it super versatile. I'm going to show you two setups today here that we tested on the PTR, and I'll show you here some of the footage just from what you can expect here. This is, for example, how a T4 boss looks with this build. Like, he's obviously going to get boom, one shot, and this is like how Belial looks with this build. He's obviously boom, one shot, and then here on the PTR we're hitting for trillions and trillions. And the only nerf that we really got was the damage of the pants was cut in half. So if we're taking here, like seeing a trillion, we still gonna be hitting for 500 billion damage every time our Jaguar main hall double dipping will proc, and it's gonna go absolutely crazy. This double dipping, kind of like broken mechanic, has been carrying the Spiritborn for quite some time. They have not said they're gonna be fixing this unless there's a shadow nerf. This is by far the best build, even with the Pantalones nerf. There's also a slight nerf to the Hunter here, to the Jaguar, but this is only a couple of pit tiers. I think right now what this build did on the PTR is 115, and this is very top on my tier list here. I'll show you the footage as well here from Do Not Hit Me, did 115 on this with both setups, and he even had time left. So even if we're taking away the pants and some Jaguar haul, it's still gonna go like 110 plus, in my opinion. We'll see, but I'm very, very confident in this. And I have a bunch of different variants, and this build is pretty much strong right from the get-go. I wouldn't really recommend it while leveling. For leveling, I would always say you go Evade or base Quill Volley. It's a similar build, and then once you get those pants, and you can get those pants here from the Echo of Varshan. I'm going to link this unique drop table here. You get the pants from the Echo of Varshan, and you get the pants from Urivar. So they should be pretty easy to get. You don't need to farm Duriel for them or something. Just the lesser Uber bosses will be sufficient to get these Pantalones. And that's going to just basically make the build. And you don't even need any Ubers here for a starter variant. And even the endgame variant only has one Uber Duber. And you can also play Short of Death. You can play two, but like this is like very optional. Only the Starless Sky is really strong. But again, for the starter variant, it's pretty chill. You don't need any of this. We'll talk here a bit about the base. I'm just quickly going to show you like how basically the playstyle looks. You might be very familiar with this. This basically plays very similar to Quill Volley. So you're spawning these Mystic Circles. You're doing a pull with Cyclone Strike, and you're starting to apply your Thorns with Quill Volley, and the pack, boom, dies. This is 110. So after the patch, this would be like 105. But you see, you can kind of like one-shot this pack. Like watch the chunks that it's doing once the Jaguar Hall procs. Like half the HP of this guy. And then he gets executed, right? So you basically just pull the enemies. And you also reset your cooldowns with your Paragon Wildfire Glyph and other things. So this is an insanely strong build that, yeah, is very comfortable to play and also can be played as kind of like a fast pace. If you really want to be leveling, I would recommend Evade and base Quill Volley and then transitioning into the Thorns build, like I said, once you get those pants. I'll show you the optimal gear here in the planner of the endgame variant. There's also the starter variant here, but this is pretty much what people are going to be mostly play with the Starless Skies. And there's also a full glass cannon and a more tanky variant. So we're usually playing Loyalty's Mantle here. You can masterwork the all stats or the damage reduction. This is basically just giving you more Jaguar Hall main damage. We also have Jaguar main hall here on our weapon. You can kind of see here, this is the primary Jaguar main hall potency. Again, it's double dipping, so this is extremely strong, as well as Mystic Circle potency. And you also really want Lucky Hit to restore primary resource here on the weapon. This helps you with all the resources. You can also get some support here with getting the resources back with Redactive Ooze, especially if you don't have a Starless Sky yet in the beginning. Then we're rocking the Razor Blade. Obviously, this is a Thorns Spiritborn. In the end game, you can play either Tyrael's Smite or Shroud of the False Death. For more toughness and decent damage, but Razor Blade is the highest DPS, of course, because it's a Thorns build, right? We're rocking Conceited because we get a ton of barrier here from the season bottle wind here, from the season mechanic, 50% barrier every 4 seconds. It's crazy. Then we have the new Pantalones. We have the Duelist aspect to get more ferocity. We keep this with the Jaguar. The Plains Power, double dip. We have Vehemence Brawler here, extra ultimate ranks plus more damage. Apex, Potent, Dex percent, Mystic Circle potency, and Resilience. You can also play Hunter here. It really depends now with the changes to the Hunter. We have to check it really quick. Resilience gives you a ton of toughness, but Hunter obviously gives you more offensive capabilities. And the ring's looking the same here, like Mystic Circle potency and Hunter cooldown with attack speed Dex. And you might want to get armor on one piece. It really depends on your endgame gear. You can always get one armor roll here, or you can get one armor roll here. In the footage that I'll show you, I didn't really had many armor rolls, and we were already, like, if you hide Paragon, you're going to get enough armor. But here you probably want at least one thing here to say armor. I'll probably change this as well, and have one armor roll early on. And keep in mind, these new Horadric jewels, they're going to give you armor as well. So we are playing the Idol from below. This one gives extra leads, main stat, life. And then we are playing the 1.3x for Thorns, Barrier, and Fortify, giving you defense as well as offense because you're doing Thorns damage. And then we are rocking here the Will Breaker. I think it might work, like we'll see, because Thorns baseline is obviously physical, right? So the first time you attack, you're doing physical damage, and then you're taking this physical damage into poison damage. This gem has to be tested. I'm not 100% sure it will work, but again, Thorns equals physical. And then out of this Thorns, we also do poison damage, but it's always based on your Thorns. And then we take this poison damage and we basically burst it with Noxious Resonance, make a big crit explosion, burst it, and then feed that into our Jaguar main hall. And that's how we're going to deal the crazy amount of damage. There's also, if you want to push like really high hits, you want to play the Stricken gem, the Overtime, the Tyrant Bane. This is like for really, really high pits for the boss fight, because this is going to stack up over a long boss fight, because this build doesn't struggle with single target, but if you are like in pit 115, the boss has crazy amount of life. You know, single target, a baseline is no problem, as you can see here. Like the single target is completely fine. Just if this boss has like, you know, a couple of hundreds of trillions of health, then you might struggle a bit with the bosses on the Noxious Resonance. So AoE is your friend, and this definitely helps with the single target at some point, right, in the high pits. But yeah, that's pretty much what we play. You can play the Shadow as Infusion because it gives you damage reduction, or you can play with Poison. That also helps quite a bit, adding just basically more poison for you to burst. But I think Shadow is the most beginner-friendly as well. And then we are playing this Integrate here and what we showed earlier. POC Q for Crazy Barrier, Neo Quacks. This is like the starter version. Doesn't require any legendary runes. Obviously, if you are like super min-maxed later, you can play like the Ahu rune to proc Quacks even crazier. And there's even some builds that get rid of Q rune. I'll talk about this at the very end when we talk about Crushing Hands. But yeah, then we have Quill Volley, of course, to trigger it. Again, we can also play Crushing Hands. We have the Toxic Skin. This one basically doubles your Thorns, but it's going to make it pretty squishy. The other variant can play, if you feel squishy, you can always play Counterattack to just have more toughness. However, I'm playing Softcore, so I will always go with the most DPS variant. That's Toxic Skin, Armored Hide, Hunter, Ravager, and Vortex to pull everything. Ravager for the extra hits. That works very well synergizing with your Pantalones. And then, yeah, Paragon board looks like this. So just 1 point in Quill Volley. Again, it's just there to trigger your damage and to trigger Vulnerable. It doesn't deal damage itself. Again, all of our damage is coming from Thorns. Then we have Vortex, and we have multipliers. We have the Toxic Skin, the Armored Hide, and just a bunch of other stuff here. Basically, like all the multipliers here. Keep in mind, you only want generic multipliers with Supremacy Rift Resolution, and then the Hunter, of course, with Noxious Resonance. Paragon board, a couple things to notice. We play Kenny in the starter board. Then here we have this like full Thorns node, which gives you a lot of Thorns damage. There's also some crazy stuff like cooldown reduction and extra Thorns across this entire Paragon board, basically. So there's a lot of Thorns damage that you can get here in this first board. We're rocking this here with Hubris, so this is even more Thorns from Hubris. Then they also fixed all the snapshotting shenanigans that were going on with this, so this is completely fine playing Hubris. And I'm probably going to go over the starter variant. This is like a 200 Paragon, like we have 90 points left, so 210. And then we play Convergence here with Wildfire. This is really important to reduce the cooldown of your skills. Based on Lucky Hit, you reduce the cooldown. It's extremely powerful. Then we rock the Viscous Shield here. Again, more barrier equals more damage. And we get a ton of barrier from the Q rune. And also here from the Bottled Wind, giving us another 50% barrier. And then we have a bunch of barrier bonus, basically. So this is going to be tremendously powerful. And then we rock Revenge here. More Thorns damage. There's like Revenge and Hubris, 2 Thorns glyphs. And then finally here we have the Ritual. This is the double dipping Mystic Circles. And then you're also rocking Sapping. Like once you have more Paragon, you definitely want to be putting them here to fully juice the Ritual Mystic Circles. But on 200 Paragon, like this is just like the bare minimum, right, that you can get away with. That's pretty much the build. There is another variant here that I quickly want to show you. So this is a big shout out and credits to Do Not Hit Me. I'm going to be linking his clear below. This is basically using, instead of Quill Volley, it's using the Crushing Hands to get more barrier and more toughness. And then it's using counter attack here with some very, very offensive setup with Razor Blade. So this is giving you so much barrier that he's able to basically play here in, you see this is the 115 clear that we saw on the PTR. Again, no Quill Volley, and big credits to Do Not Hit Me. And you can kind of see here how fast he melts the packs on 115. And again, like I said, you're losing roughly 4 tiers. So this can still be done on 111 plus. And this is by far the highest and the strongest clear that we know of so far, because everything else also got nerfed, right? Like the Lightning Spear Sork is gone. Like we have a Hydra Sork, but I don't even think Hydra Sork can even do 110. And this guy here, like you see, he kind of like speed runs it. Then until the boss, right? You need an ad boss in this, like in high-end pits, you basically always need it. But you can just kind of see here, like once he makes the pull, how fast these guys basically melt. Once everything is pulled and the dot is going completely crazy. And the Mystic Circle is up. It takes always like a couple seconds, and also it's like lagging a bit, but boom, now the entire pull is dead, and he just jumped like 20% progress. So I'll link that below. This is basically going to be the Crushing Hands version. Again, this gives a ton of barrier and just an extra layer of toughness to go very offensive with Razor Blade. There's also this like giga tanky version that actually plays Tyrell Smite and then still uses the Toxic Skin for the double multiplier. You can see here, while Toxic Skin is active, Poisoning is increased, and your Thorns is going pretty crazy. 36 poison as crit, and yeah, this is just a pretty cool setup, but there's many different ones that you can play here overall and in the end. And we'll see how stuff is going to go here, basically. And then I want to show you here the last gameplay here that we've seen with the Quill Volley. I have the Quill Volley version, and we did 110 on the PTR. I'll show you the gameplay here and go over 1-to-1 over the setup that I had on the PTR. This was just 110, but you will kind of get the idea of how crazy and how strong this build is gonna be. So I'm looking forward to be rocking this Spiritborn, most likely. There's also then the Evade version that is very good for leveling. I'll also have that below, and I'll make a separate video of what exactly I'm starting and when I'm playing what. Hope you enjoyed, and here is the gameplay. Wait, why did he just melt? Did you see that? I just three-shot him. I killed him in 3 seconds. Why? Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't have to make sense, right? That guy, I killed him in 3 seconds. Look, it's just like... I think it's so much about positioning. Yeah, but this build is not gonna cap out here. Like, if you get the right boss, like Spirit Caller or Malice... I don't know what else bosses are good. Like, you're gonna be... Look, you're just gonna be melting them, man. Like, we're not near the cap. Okay, Jewel Guardians. Sure, follow me. So did anyone test if the Jewel Guardians actually give... Look, it just melt! It's already dead! Did anyone test if they give progress? I'm not quite so sure if they give progress. Bro, that was crazy. 2 minutes, 50%. Well, what's this guy doing? Like, he's just moving. Oh my god, like, I can't deactivate his damage resistance aura. I got a feeling sometimes it's so cooked. Like, that pull was so cooked. And that dude couldn't even move. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Ah, the start was so good. Like, why was this one so bullshit? Bad, bad, bad. Why did I even summon a circle there? Oh no, the Arya is somewhere. Man, when it's aligning well, the Gutus are just melting. It's just one shot, man. Like, that guy just instantly died. Hello, follow me. Ah, what is this guy doing? That was bad. I lost quite a bit of time. I hope he's coming. That guy's slacking in the back, bro. Okay, right here, chill out, chill out. Did you see that? Man, right here just nuked him. Okay, this is decent, boss. Okay, so we have 9 minutes. Not quite. Okay, we're just gonna tank everything, guys. Trust. Do we want to pull them in or no? Does he have a limit of how many he can spawn? I'm not sure I want them all in. Okay, I have Bane of the Stricken. So we'll see how that stuff is gonna go. Yeah, we do get a good amount of lucky hits. Yeah, this boss is dying pretty fast. And that guy can slap though. If I'm not careful and they hit me like a double hit, I can still die very easily. It is also a very good boss for Lightning Spear, of course. It's just very good boss in general. Look, 3 minutes, she's already half dead. It's gonna be a 5-minute kill. If I don't die... I mean, I can always get like hit by an unfortunate double hit. Maybe even... I don't know if I need to dodge anything here. Now we just need some ads and we're gonna blast him. Boom, easy. How much time left? That's like a 9-minute clear, guys. Yeah, I think we can like easy do higher than 115, I would say. There was a less than 4-minute clear, and we do have a Bane of the Stricken here. So here, the damage over time. That's pretty sick. So this is like the current setup that we play, guys. That was like 110 in, what was it, like 9 minutes? So we do have the Bane of the Stricken, or what is it called, like the Turrent Bane or whatever, like 0.33, and like this was a 4-minute fight, and the higher you go, obviously, the better this is going to be become. This is an S+ tier build. We have a Starless Sky here with extra. This is how I spawn these like Jewel Guardians. Then we're rocking the Amulet here, Conceited. And obviously here we have the 30x Thorns, Barrier, and Fortify. And we get all three of them because we are using Thunderous Particle, Disintegrate, Fractured Core to remove the DR dudes. Then we have Bottled Wind here for extra Barrier. And we have the Invigorating Helix here, giving us Fortify, so we get big DR. Then we are rocking Loyalty's Mantle, and right now I don't play Razorblade. We are playing Shroud of the False Death. I think, unironically, even in the Thorns build, the Shroud of the False Death is more DPS than the freaking Razorblade, which is already crazy. The planner is below, by the way. Then we have the Vehemence here, another 1.3x, and obviously we also play the Quill Volley, so we get like the Apex stuff. And yeah, we basically just pull the monsters together and then we like blast them with some Thorns. And even if this is like only a couple monsters, it still works pretty well. Then we have the new Thorns Pantalones here, crazy multiplier. Duelist here for extra ferocity stacks, which obviously gives us a crazy multiplier here. Whenever we blast with the Jaguar skills, Ahu Quacks in the weapon, primary Jaguar Spirit Hall, double dipping like always, and POC Q here in the weapon. Spirit Hall is obviously Jaguar. We boost the potency here, and we boost the potency even further here. So potency here is pretty big. We're getting a 49% of the damage that we have dealt in the last half second. So this potency is pretty crazy. So like half the damage of the last half second. Pretty wild. And we got a triple roll here right now. I do have some bad rolls here on the amulets, like low mythic, circle chance, and then we have some hunter cooldown, that helps a lot. Mercenary, we're rocking Rahir here, also Fortify, and also the armor here is important to get armor cap, and some extra multiplier here too. And then we're rocking the abilities. So just Quill Volley, basically. No, Quill Volley itself doesn't do damage, it just triggers the Thorns, basically. And Vortex, and then all the multipliers and some damage reduction. We're obviously playing Toxic Skin, double Thorns damage. We have Armored Hide, fully juiced. Nourishment for more poison damage, Resilient, Potent, and then here like all the ultimates. And also Initiative for being unstoppable, with the Noxious Resonance. This is why we need like AoE, like single target is not gonna be that nice with this. But yeah, 110 in 9 minutes. This is the Paragon board. Headhunter in the starter board. Then we have Hubris with Spine. We have Revenge, the Thorns Glyph with Convergence. We have Colossal Glyph here, which we can keep up with our Armored Hide. Viscous Shield. We get Crazy Barrier from our Season Powers. Then we have Ritual here, the Mystic Circle Juice with Sapping. And you can see here, like when I'm attacking, like this is my stats. Here we have 26,000 Barrier, 26,000 Fortify, 26,000 Life. And else this build can get like really squishy, right? Like if you don't really build it well, you need some toughness for this, right? And yeah, that's basically the setup. I think I have Thorns damage right now of... It's not too crazy. We have all the rest, of course. I don't even know. Thorns, we have 8,500. I don't know if that's with all the buffs. And maybe we're gonna have like 9,000 Thorns. So not that crazy. And we don't have this one. So with this, we would have a lot more Thorns. But I just feel the Shroud of False Death is just better, even in Thorns build. So I think Razor Blade at some point needs an overhaul to have a more viable like Thorns builds with this, because you know Thorns usually relies on getting hit and you need some tankiness and toughness. But yeah, that's pretty much set up, guys. Gonna be pretty fun. This is an S+ tier build. We'll see what's gonna happen, but this is insanely strong for bossing, insanely strong for pit pushing. It might be the highest build of the entire Season 9, the best build of the entire season, if they do fix the bugged Flay and they do fix the bugged Hydra Shatter. But then again, the Jaguar Hall is double dipping since the Spiritborn release, so that might also get a change. We'll see, but this build is insanely strong. Thorns build, eating good, let's go. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.